It is the one night of the year when the veil between two worlds disappears entirely. Imagine standing in a Mexican cemetery at midnight. It isn't cold, and it certainly isn't quiet. Instead, the pathways are glowing with the orange light of millions of flower petals, and the air is thick with the sweet, heavy smoke of copal incense, a scent that has drifted through these mountains for centuries. All around you, graves are transformed into vibrant altars. Families are sitting on blankets, passing around warm mugs of spiced coffee and tearing apart sweet, sugar-dusted bread. A grandmother is whispering a story. A young boy is laughing as he chases a stray dog, and a mariachi band in the distance plays a joyful, sweeping melody. Look closely at the graves. They are buried under thousands of bright orange cempasúchil flowers. The glowing candlelight makes the shadows dance across the worn stone. While the pain of loss is never fully erased, especially for those recently departed, tonight it is eclipsed by a profound, vibrating warmth. You are not just witnessing mourning, you are witnessing a joyful reunion. Tonight we are stepping into the heart of Mexico to experience the beautiful, complex reality of Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. Welcome to Culture Journey. Tonight we are in Mexico, a country where the past is never truly in the past, and where history beats with a vibrant, living pulse. Across valleys, modern cities, and colonial towns, the final days of October and the first days of November mark a time of profound transformation. For people here, death is not a final, terrifying door. It is simply another phase of existence. It is an ongoing relationship. This perspective shifts the entire human experience. In much of the world, grief is something we process in silence. We wear dark colors, we lower our voices, and we step away from the noise of the world to mourn. But here in Mexico, memory is an active, communal celebration. To truly grasp this culture, you must realize one thing. To remember someone out loud is to keep them alive. It is an act of deep devotion, a spiritual rebellion against the finality of passing away. Let us walk together through the cobblestone streets and into the homes of those who are preparing to welcome their loved ones back. If you were here in the days leading up to the celebration, you would notice a remarkable shift in the air. The preparation begins weeks in advance, transforming the energy of entire towns. Wander into any local market and you will see it overflowing into the streets, creating a chaotic and brilliant maze of color. Vendors shout their prices over the rhythmic chopping of machetes on wooden blocks. You can smell the wet earth of freshly cut flowers mixing with the sweet scent of baking dough. The bread of the dead, known as pan de muerto, is stacked high on every corner. It is a soft, sweet loaf decorated with dough shapes that resemble bones, dusted generously with sugar. Eating it is a tactile experience, a way of breaking bread with the ancestors. Everywhere you look, intricate tissue paper banners called papel picado flutter violently in the wind. The delicate holes cut into the paper represent the fragility of life, and the wind passing through them represents the presence of spirits. But the true heart of this tradition beats quietly inside the home. Families spend days building the ofrenda, the altar. This is not a place of worship. It is a portal of memory. Imagine standing in a brightly painted living room. In the corner sits a multi-tiered altar draped in vibrant cloth. It is a cosmological map built right in the domestic space, and every single object placed on it has a distinct purpose. The family places a glass of water on the top tier, meant to quench the thirst of the spirit after a long, exhausting journey from the afterlife. Salt is laid out in a small dish to purify the soul so it does not corrupt on its journey back. Then comes the food. You might smell the rich, chocolatey aroma of mole simmering on the stove, prepared exactly the way a departed grandfather used to love it. There are tamales, fresh fruits, and perhaps a bottle of tequila or mezcal. A photograph of the loved one takes the central space, surrounded by tall, flickering candles. What might surprise you is how deeply personal and joyful this space feels. The ofrenda is essentially a love letter written in food, light, and memory. You can almost feel the anticipation in the room. The family is not waiting for a ghost. They are waiting for an honored, beloved guest. Did you know this beautiful ritual began centuries before any European set foot on this continent? Long before the Spanish arrived, the indigenous peoples of Mesoamerica, including the Aztecs, the Maya, and the Toltecs, viewed death as a natural, continuous part of the cosmic cycle. They believed the soul traveled through various realms, a long and difficult journey, to finally reach Mictlan, the resting place of the dead. This journey required passing through 9 challenging levels of the underworld, facing freezing winds and traversing deep rivers. The rituals honoring these souls were held in the summer, overseen by the goddess Mictecacíhuatl, the Lady of the Dead. When Spanish colonizers arrived in the 16th century, bringing Catholicism, they tried to eradicate these ancient beliefs. But indigenous spirituality was deeply rooted in the land and the people. Instead of disappearing, the ancient rituals merged with the Catholic holidays of All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day. This is why the celebration now happens in early November. The resulting tradition is a brilliant tapestry of 2 worlds. The glowing candles and crosses reflect Catholic traditions, while the marigolds, the burning copal resin, and the feast itself echo ancient indigenous offerings. The historical fusion we see today is a story of profound survival. It is a testament to the resilience of a people who refused to let their ancestors be forgotten, hiding their old traditions behind new altars until they evolved into something entirely unique to Mexico. Let us step back outside into the cool evening air. The streets are lined with a very specific flower, the cempasúchil. In English, we know it as the marigold. But here, it is undeniably the flower of the dead. The Aztecs believed its vibrant color, resembling the sun, and its strong, musky scent could guide wandering spirits back to the earthly realm. Families will literally create paths of loose petals from the front door of their home, out into the street, and all the way to the local cemetery. It is a golden roadmap for the soul. When we follow this petal path to the graveyard, we do not merely find a place of mourning. Instead, we discover a vibrant, moving festival. Tombs are washed and scrubbed clean by loving hands. Entire families bring chairs, woven blankets, guitars, and enormous baskets of food. They will sit by the graves of their ancestors all night long. This night vigil is a masterclass in human connection and emotional processing. Imagine sitting on the cold stone of a tomb at 2 in the morning. The air is chilly, but the heat radiating from thousands of candles warms your face. You hear the soft strumming of a guitar a few graves over. A family is quietly singing a ballad about a tragic love, the absolute favorite song of their grandmother who passed away 10 years ago. Beside them, a little girl is asleep in her father's arms, wrapped securely in a thick wool blanket. This is how grief is managed here. It is not hidden away behind closed doors. It is brought out into the open, shared with the wider community. When you cry here, you do not cry alone. When you laugh, the sound echoes across the stones, joining a chorus of other families doing exactly the same thing. It is a deeply therapeutic process. It teaches children from a very young age that while physical presence ends, the relationship absolutely does not. The dead are still a fundamental part of the family structure. They still have a seat at the table. The boundary between the living and the dead completely dissolves. It feels less like a memorial and more like a massive family reunion where some of the most important guests just happen to be invisible. As you walk through the plazas during these days, you will see something that might feel shocking to an outsider. Skeletons. Skeletons everywhere. But they are not scary or macabre. They are dressed in elegant gowns, wearing large feathered hats, riding bicycles, or playing brightly painted instruments in mariachi bands. These are the calaveras. This playful imagery tells us something profound about the Mexican psyche. Here, death is not a shadowy monster hiding under the bed. Death is a neighbor. Death is a companion. By dressing death in a fancy suit and laughing with it, the terror is stripped away. The imagery of the elegant skeleton originated as a piece of political satire in the early 20th century by an artist named José Guadalupe Posada. Originally called La Calavera Garbancera, she was drawn wearing a lavish European-style hat to mock Mexicans who were trying to adopt foreign customs and deny their indigenous roots. It was later that the legendary muralist Diego Rivera cemented her iconic status and named her La Catrina. Yet, Posada's original message remained brilliant and simple. No matter how much money you have, no matter how fancy your clothes are, you are exactly the same skeleton underneath. You will face the very same end as the poorest person in the streets. This satirical drawing became the defining symbol of the holiday because it perfectly encapsulates the Mexican attitude toward death. It is the ultimate equalizer. Today, people paint their faces as skulls, not to be frightening, but to honor this universal truth. To look in the mirror and see your own mortality painted beautifully on your skin is a powerful, transformative experience. It strips away the ego. It connects you deeply to the earth. It is an acknowledgement that mortality is the one thing every single human being shares. We are all going to end up as bone, so why not laugh about it while we are still here? This beautiful defiance allows people to embrace life much more fully. When you are not terrified of the end, you can invest all your energy into the vibrant, messy, beautiful present. As the sun begins to rise over the mountains, painting the morning sky in shades of pale pink and gold, the candles in the cemetery slowly burn down to puddles of wax. The families begin to pack up their empty baskets, their thermoses, and their blankets. The spirits are believed to be making their journey back to the other side, satisfied and nourished by the devotion of their families. What we witness here is a profound lesson in how to hold on to the people we love. We spend so much of our lives running from the idea of the end. But the people of Mexico show us that embracing our mortality is the very thing that makes life rich. To remember someone is to keep them deeply rooted in the world. As long as their stories are told, as long as their favorite songs are sung, and as long as their name is spoken with joy, they are never truly gone. This is the ultimate triumph of the human spirit, the understanding that love is far more powerful and far more enduring than death. If walking through this beautiful night with us touched your heart or made you think differently about the people you hold dear, please like this video and share it with someone you love. Subscribe to Culture Journey to keep exploring the incredible, diverse ways we all experience this human life. We have so many more places to go together. Until our next adventure, keep exploring, keep remembering, and take care of each other.